The ongoing issue of U.S. tariffs continues to dominate the provincial election campaign, and polls continue to show that PC leader Doug Ford is capitalizing from it. So far, the polls are showing the PCs are expected to keep their majority and possibly even increase it. Polling expert Éric Grenier is here to talk about what he is seeing in the numbers. Since the last time that we spoke, Éric, a lot has happened, everything from the tariff pause to Super Bowl ads, and yet the overall numbers haven't really changed, have they?
No, they really haven't. If we're looking at what the polls look like today based on the average of all the polls that are out there, PCs still have a big lead. They're polling somewhere around 45% support. The Liberals are in second, somewhere around 27%. The NDP is in third at 19%. And if we try to take those poll numbers and turn them into seats, in all likelihood, we're still looking at a big PC majority government, probably bigger than they won in 2022. And the real fight might be for second place between the Liberals and the NDP. Those two parties are still vying for roughly the same number of seats. But even though the polls show the Liberals solidly in second place in voting intentions, in the seats, it still could be quite a race.
Okay, so that's the overall picture. How does the polling break down for different demographic groups?
Yeah, we have seen some interesting gender divides in particular. The PCs usually do very well among men, usually over 50% support, have a big lead over both the Liberals and the NDP. We do see that among women, it is a much closer race. The PCs do lead, but the gap between them and the two other parties is a lot smaller. If we're looking at the age breakdowns, we generally see that the older you are, the more likely you are to vote for the PCs and to a lesser extent for the Liberals. The younger you are, the more likely you are to vote for the NDP and the Greens. But we've seen in past elections that turnout in Ontario can be quite low, and the people who do tend to go out and vote tend to be older. So it is another advantage for Doug Ford and the PCs.
What are you seeing in terms of regional breakdown and support?
Yeah, we're not really seeing any movement there either. Pretty steady as it's been for the last little while. PCs and the Liberals are fighting for the support in Toronto. The NDP has moved into third place there. In the GTA, PCs have a big lead. Big lead for the PCs as well is in southwestern Ontario and eastern Ontario, even in the north. So there's not really much of a regional difference in that very positive map for the PCs, at least at this stage of the campaign.
Okay, now aside from President Trump and those tariffs, what provincial issues are catching the attention of voters?
Yeah, we definitely see that the tariff and Donald Trump has been a big issue during the campaign, but it usually only ranks around third in the issue set in the polling that we've seen. The two issues that always poll the highest, cost of living and healthcare. Those are the two issues that voters are thinking about the most. We do see that when it comes to which party is most trusted to handle these issues, if it's tariffs and Donald Trump, PCs have a big lead on cost of living, on the economy. PCs are also ahead. On healthcare, though, there is a smaller gap between the PCs and the other two parties.
Okay, and speaking of the other major parties, certainly Doug Ford and the PCs have a bit of a lead here. So is there enough time to have those other leaders break through?
I mean, technically, there is enough time to do it. There is still 2 weeks and a few days, and we have seen the polls shift in a smaller amount of time in some past campaigns. The 2018 election in particular, in the first couple of weeks, the NDP just took off. But what we're not really seeing here is a sign that that is about to happen. Often you see that the party leaders, if one is about to take off in the polls, their own personal ratings might be increasing, but the party ratings aren't catching up. We're not really seeing anything like that. Both Bonnie Crombie of the Liberals and Merritt Stiles of the NDP remain largely unknown to a lot of Ontarians. We haven't seen a lot of movement in the numbers for them. There will be some debates in the next couple weeks that could give them a stage that they desperately need with Doug Ford. That could be an opportunity to see some movement in the polls. But things have been very steady in Ontario for a while. It's a big lead for the PCs. It'll take a lot for the PCs to lose this campaign.
All right, Éric. Well, thank you very much for the polling update. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Éric Grenier is a polling analyst and the founder of the election newsletter, The Writ. He will be with us every Tuesday throughout the campaign.